Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3.
You think you know about relationships, but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good, but it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Man, score 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
Yo. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? The sexual revolution being podcasted, and I'm excited. It's good to be here, good to be seen. What up? It's my people in the building on the check-in. Yo, what up, y'all? People still coming in. Do me a favor. Anybody that's in the on the live, I just want to check the phones. If anybody's in the chat, give me a call. I just want to check the phone lines to see if the phone lines are oil per. The bell came in on time. I'm a little late because I'm trying to check these phones. But anybody who's in the chat, Oil or Eric, just call me on the line. I just want to test the phone lines before we set it off. If you can, just call me on the line and just make sure y'all can hear me out there and all that good stuff. All right. Somebody call in and let me know if you hear me. Yeah. Let's see. Everybody, if you hear me good, okay, that's cool. Let's check. Thank you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's going on, Ali? How you doing, bro? Ali. All right. Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Can we hold on one second. The Shay or anybody's in the chat, just make sure y'all can hear Ali on the call. I can't hear. Fuck me. All right. You hear me on YouTube? You can't. You can hear me. You can't. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Can't hear you. All right. Let's try this instead. I'm gonna put another. I'm gonna put another number up. When the number comes up, is it up? Shit. No. Hold on. I'm gonna put another number in the. I have a separate number that I'm gonna put up, and we're gonna try and see if we can get that one to work. Ali, thank you, bro. You know what, Ali? You got me right now, right? Do me a favor. Can you call me at this number 917 703 703. Hold on. 6857. All right, call me there right now. I'm gonna put it up, but call me and we'll see if we can get it there. Mm. I got a backup number, y'all, just because we had problems last night and I haven't been able to figure it out. So let's see. Ali, can you hear me? Ali, hold on. Ali, can you hear me?
Ali, can you hear me? Right here.
Okay. In the chat, can y'all hear Ali talking? If y'all let me know if y'all can hear Ali talking in the chat.
All right, I'll ask my quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Where do you get your accessories for your smartwatch?
For my what?
Your server bracelets that go with your smartwatch?
Oh, you talking about the bracelet?
Yeah, I've been asking you that for like 4 months.
Oh
dog.
man, I'm sorry. I must have missed it. So the go on Amazon. It actually is a Leatherman. It's a Leatherman bracelet, right? And once you get the bracelet, you have to look for the iPhone adapter. Okay.
Okay.
And then you have to you put it together. So you know how the iPhone, the little sliver thing slide into the Apple Watch.
Right.
You slide them in, and then you attach it to the bracelet. The bracelet is a Leatherman. It's actually a tool, so you can check that out. Okay.
So do I go on Amazon, I type in
Leatherman bracelet, utility bracelet or tool bracelet, it'll come up. And then you have to also get the adapter, Apple Watch adapter.
Okay.
Okay?
Wow.
Brother, thank you for helping.
Man. Thank you for all you give us, man.
Thank you for helping with the phones, man. I've been having a rough time. So I'm gonna post the new number up right now. And then we'll be able to. Ali, thanks for calling. I really appreciate you, man.
All right, holla.
Holla. All right, so let me put this other number up for y'all so you know how to call in, and then we'll test it again. I don't know why this number is not working, but it's okay. We getting there. If I tell you how bad I was with technology when I first started doing this from home, well, I don't have to tell y'all. Most of y'all been listening to me and watching me screw up the whole time, so I guess I don't have to tell you. Y'all know. There's a lot of y'all be screaming at me in the comments. 6857. Okay. Let's see how that works. Bam. Let's put this at the top. Bam. All right. All right. Somebody call me on that number. Let's make sure we got it right. Somebody in the chat, call me on that number. Let's make sure we good to go. First and foremost, got to shout. Big shouts to you know I got to shout out to my man Xavier. Xavier sent me the $10. Thank you, Xavier. You always on it, baby. You one of the most credible dudes I ever met. You don't never not take care of a motherfucker. You listen and you always look out and look to support. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Let's see. We got a call.
Dante is Theo, man. You're working.
Yo, what up, Theo? Can you hear me? Y'all can hear me out on YouTube. Let me get in the comments real quick. If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up on the comments. Let's make sure. Give me a thumbs up on the comments, fellas.
Want me to count for them?
Yeah. If you can. Count down from 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Anybody? Let me get a thumbs up. Yeah, everybody got them. Theo, thank you for calling, man. I appreciate you, brother. You know that.
Got you, man.
How you been? How you been anyway?
Amazing. It's no way I can put it, man.
All right, man. God, that. So then I guess you on it. I know you had a little fall off or whatever, but I appreciate you, bro.
Hearing that's everything, man.
Yeah. Wait, I got a shout out. Big shout to Robinson. Sent me $105 on the Cash App. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. $105 on the Cash App. I gotta get a bomb for that. God damn. Thank you. But you know where we are. You got any questions before you go? Since you helped me out, Theo?
Not at all.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Got you.
All right. So the number's up. 917-703-6857. I appreciate y'all coming in. Let's get into it, man. I definitely I'm gonna be out we'll be going live on Tuesday, but after that I'm heading out to England. So anybody that's listening in England, I'll be doing comedy out there and going spending some time with my son. My little man is got another birthday coming, so I'm gonna be rocking with that. I appreciate it. Anybody that's out in England, hit me up on the Instagram on the Dante Nero. Follow me, and anybody who's listening, please follow me on Instagram. Follow me on as well as YouTube. I saw somebody kicked it in and said, "Big shout, $5 on the Cash App from Theo Wells." Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks, Theo. Thanks for calling in too, helping me out with the phones. But let's get into it. Let me shout out to everybody who's in the chat real quick. Thanks for Ali. Eric Harvey's in the building. Ali, Shay, what's up, sweetness? How you doing? Shay, if you need, I'm hoping you can hear me now. Jabriel, what's up? Caro, what's up? The great Stan Powerful Xavier. I like that. When you change your name, Xavier. Raven, what's up? Rocky the Hooligan, EC in the building. Who else is in? Badman, YSC. EC, sounds good. Don't send me on the super chat, Ollie. Send it on Cash App. It's better for me, if you can. But yo, it's good to be here, good to be seen, good to be heard. Let me put the banner up. Okay. Let me change that number too, since we we're a little in the I gotta change that number up. So yeah. Wait, let me see. Let's put that number up. I'll put it in the roving chat. Let's see. Edit that. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we go. Always, I try to be anonymous when I talk about the consultations and stuff, but I also like talking about the stuff because I think what happens a lot of times is everybody has these real world problems. And when it comes to these real world problems, everybody thinks that their situation is just them, that they're the only ones going through it. And one of the things, if you listen to the show, and especially if you're in the chat, if you're in the chat, talking and creating that camaraderie with the people in the chat, what you'll find is that more over than not, the things that you think you're going through by yourself, you're not. Everybody's going through the same things or a version of it, or they have a friend that's going through it. And I think that is the crazy thing about things. It's like everybody, and this is something, and I get in a little trouble like this because sometimes I speak in absolutes, but I think we all know that there's no such thing as absolutes. And so, a lot of times you'll be online and somebody will be saying some nonsense about, or you'll have some woman to be like, I'm a queen. Everybody thinks they're different. And the problem with it is that most of us are not different. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not elements of what we do that's different. We all don't do the exact same thing. But understand this, there's a field of study called behavioral psychology. And what is behavioral psychology? It's basically the study of human behavior. And the fact that there is a study of human behavior clearly says that we do the same things. And when I say that about women, a lot of times women get upset about it. But when I'm saying it about men also. I mean, how many times in the chat have we and don't forget to send me some money. What's up, Indira? $1,000 of baby oil in the building. What's going on? Who else is here? But I think what we end up doing this thing where everybody wants to be perceived as we're so different, and we're not. I mean, how many times you and me, baby, nothing but mammals. You're right. And I'm not saying that we can't make changes and do different things, and that everybody's situation is nobody's unique, because that's not true either. I mean, we do different things, but I'm saying overall, as human beings, we're all mammals, like Indira said. It's we respond to the stimulus in the same way, and so over and over again, we're going to find ourselves making the same mistakes. How many times? How many times have guys called in, right? Had questions, right? Indira, you lost somebody? Indira, who passed away? If you can put it in the chat, I'm really sorry. I'm seeing that somebody said sending you condolences. I'm hoping you're okay. And my condolences, I don't know who it is, but if you put it in the chat, I'll definitely want to give you a shout out. I don't know if a shout out is the best way to say it, but we're all family and we got to support each other. But what I was saying is that over and over again we do the same things. Hold on. Man, we seem the type of dude that'll welcome a wild but fun situation. Lady, correct me if I'm wrong. No, you're right. You're right. I like a little wild style. I definitely like a little wild style. That's my thing. But I'm also goofy. Like, I like just laying up in the bed watching TV. And, that's always a cool situation. But Indira, I don't know who you lost, but I just want to look at you real quick and say my sincerest condolences. I don't know how they know or whatever they know, but I'm seeing it in the comments, and I hope you're okay. Let me just say something really quick about that. I want to back off my trend of thought, because I think that there's something that I think helps whenever we lose somebody. And the fact is that you got to show up. Like when people are alive, when people are around, you got to show up. And what I mean by that is if you put it off, if you don't make that call to see how people are doing, if you don't visit, you don't things, and then what happens is when the person lost, when you have that loss, what happens is you have these regrets about what you didn't do when you could have, if that makes sense. And so what you want to do is show up. Now, it's if you show up, understand something. Nobody gets out of this life alive. We all come to some point where we're gonna leave this life, and understand it is finite. And I don't know what your I don't know Dante's IT department. Thank you, bro. So he changed his name to Dante's ID department. Thank you, bro. But and simply deep, I'm gonna get to your question in 1 second. But understand something, you have to show up. Because if you don't show up, that's where the regrets come in. The regrets always come in the fact that you didn't show up and you have these regrets. But if you showed up, understand something, everybody, and I mean everybody, nobody gets out of this life alive. We all end up with some level of demise where we're not going to be alive, and we will be unalived at some point in time. We pass on. And understand something, all you have is the time that you have. And if you thought that somebody was important enough to grieve after they're gone, then they should be important enough to spend time and energy with them when they're alive. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm also, I don't know, some people might call me an asshole, but if I didn't fuck with you when you was alive, I don't give a shit about you when you're dead, surely. So I think what happens is a lot of times people want to, they feel as though there's the agency is watching over, and people think that they should be acting in a certain way. And because they think they should be acting in a certain, when people pass away, I'm not going to get into who it was, but somebody passed away in the comedy community years ago, and the dude was an asshole to me. And to this day, I used to have a dinner. I used to have a dinner with people who he disrespected. He was one of the older comedians. I'm not going to get into it. But if y'all want, you can look him up. His name is Todd Lynn. The worst human being that I ever met in my life. Just a horrible, horrible human being. He was disrespectful to comics. He hurt people's careers. And when he passed away, not only did I not give a fuck, but I had a dinner where the people who he was so disrespectful to, we used to meet every year and go out to dinner. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't really care, because it's about keeping it 100, And to this day, we haven't been out. I mean, he's passed away many years now, probably 15 years. So we don't do the dinner anymore, but we do text each other and say happy anniversary to Todd Lynn's death. And we text each other, hey, I'm gonna go get an ice cream today or something like that. Because I think it is really understanding. It's understanding to really understand how when you have life, you need to be impactful to the people around you. You need to understand, like, because you're being a fraud. Like, people die every day. Camera on voice. You be all right. So I don't do that. I don't do the fake shit, because I think we talk about credibility and authenticity. If I ain't like you, I didn't like you, I'm not gonna like you now because you passed away. You're just a jerk now. And I don't care who or what has a problem with that. You could like somebody kicking you in the ass. I will not. And I'm not going to create a narrative about something that doesn't exist, that didn't exist. So there was another dude just passed away. I'm not going to say his name because I really was not close enough. But promoter constantly screwed people over, never paid people, jerked people around. He has some substance abuse, and he had substance abuse, so he had kind of like dope fiend ways, and every chance he got to screw people over, he did. So, I don't think we have to create this facade. I think because creating a facade about something goes to the idea of credibility. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to have a dinner, right? You don't have to throw a dinner, but what you should do is just don't say nothing. At least don't say nothing. So, Indira, I don't know what you're dealing with, but I want you to understand that if you lost somebody if you showed up and you loved them and you put time and energy in with them while you could, you can't be a better human being than that. You just can't. You can't be a better human. I mean, that is all you can do. We don't know when somebody's going to pass away or not going to pass away, but if people matter, they should matter. I just had a bunch of my friends come to New York. We all went to dinner. All the guys I used to strip with who were 50 and 60 years old. And we met up and we went to dinner and hung out and laughed and joked and talked and stuff. And we don't do it often. We do call each other on the phone, but we just had a nice little time together. And it was nice. We broke bread and everybody jumped on a plane and flew out. They're flying right now, heading home. So when people matter, make sure that you put the time and the energy in to the people that mattered. Because you really don't get over it. Understand what I mean? You don't get over the fact that you lose people. You just learn to cope, if that makes sense. I remember my mom passed in 2016. My mom passed. My dad passed 2011, 2010. But man, I definitely was in like this is not something that you get accustomed to. You don't get used to it. You don't get used to it. You just learn to cope. And that's honestly, that's all that matters, is that you learn to cope and you learn to deal with it, and you bring other people in your life that are important and meaningful to you, and that's how you move on based on that. So there's that. So yeah, anyway, the phone line is up. 917-703-6857. Call in. Y'all know the number. It's the new number. It's working. We tested it. So there's that. Man, I just hope, Indira, I hope you're doing well. Real quick, Simply Deep. Let me see. He says, in your opinion, should wild PDA action, public displays of action at scheduled areas be done, partially clothed, or be done fully commando, depending on the area? Look, listen. Here's what I would say to that. I don't think that we should ever be in a situation where you don't want to be put in a situation where you get a charge because of the fact that you ain't doing the right thing. But I will say this. I am totally okay with public displays of affection. I don't see a problem with that. But you also don't want to do something where you get locked up. I think the question you're asking me, Simply Deep, is this: that you gotta like, this is the life that you create, and the life that you create needs to be comfortable for you and not comfortable necessarily for other people. You got to really kind of take some stock in and see what it is that you like, what's important to you, what makes you important. Oh my God. Indira, listen, I'm so sorry. Man, Indira Green, his son passed away. He was 30 years old, and Please, man, give her your love. Please, in the chat, please send Indira your love and the support. She says he was battling mental illness. Indira, why don't you call in? I would love to talk to you. Okay, why don't you call in, babe? I would love to talk to you for a few minutes, if you can. I think I can help you with some of this. Okay. I know maybe you don't want to talk in front of everybody and everything, but I think this is a loving, kind of supportive place, and I would love to be able to talk to you. I mean, I've helped a lot of people going through this, and I mean, there's no parent wants to, bury their kid. So my first and foremost is my condolences, my absolute condolences. But if you want to call in and talk, I would love to talk to you and just kind of help you. And please, in the chat, give Indira love. Please give her love. And so one of the things I'm saying, if I already know, if it's your son, I already know you showed up. Like, there's no way that you could have a child and you be the person, and even just listening. It's interesting because people will ask me sometimes, when people would like when I tell people I do live consultations and stuff like that, they will say, well, who's screen, I'm doing all this technical stuff on my own, by myself. Clearly y'all know, because y'all have shitted on me several times because I be botching it sometimes. But understand something, and people have said, well, and people have always asked me, who screens the calls? We don't screen the calls. I'm here for the smoke. If somebody wants to give me the smoke, but we don't get people to hold on one sec.
Nero, please put the motherfucking phone.
Bruce, what up, baby?
How you doing, brother?
I'm live right now. If this is personal, let me call you back.
No. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right, I'll hit you back.
You got it.
All right. So what I'm saying is that thank y'all, man, and thank y'all for giving us a love, man. But if nobody wants to bury their son, but understand something. There's no way that you didn't show up, that you didn't do the things that you could have done. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always more that we can do. There's always a place where we could be better, we could do, but you showed up. And this is why intent is so important. That our life has intention, that we are cultivating the life that we can look at. So when our time comes and it's time, when it's time to close our eyes on our own chapter, we don't have these regrets where we're looking back. I should have did this. I should have did that. I should have worked on myself. I could have did better. I could have showed up for the people I love. And this is why it's important. It's so you can have some level of satisfaction in your life, some kind of joy. I'm not saying like, so you look at a situation where there's no mother that ends up burying their own child, right? Is like, this is not something you set up for. But without a doubt, you gotta, it doesn't, like, it's not something you can fix. You can only lead to adjust. Like, for instance, I always look at a death as, it's almost like an amputation. Like if you lose an arm, that doesn't grow. It doesn't grow back. You just learn how to cope. You learn how to move on. You learn how to pour juice differently. You learn how to play spades differently. You learn how to play cards. You learn how to walk, like you learn how to adjust. But this is the trials and tribulations of living. And Indira, I just want to send you all the love and concern and the good vibes to you, and honestly, I totally get if you don't want to talk, but I want you to know, I'm here. I'm here if you need to talk. And I'm looking at the at the chat, and the love is flowing. Simply Deep, we do have a Discord. I really haven't figured that technical stuff out. I'll probably check with Dante's IT department in the chat and see if we can work that out. But I absolutely just want to say, Indira, all my love to you, and all my concern and my compassion, and I'm just so very, very sorry. Brian, thank you for that. And I want you to, Brian said, let me put this up real quick. Brian said, from someone who almost did take their own life, you probably did the best you could. It's an internal thing. You're right. And Brian, I'm glad you're here and you're with us so that you can be in a situation where you understand, and the experiences that you have, that you can pass it on to people. Man, I'll tell you the thing that got me when I first started doing consultations. Man, and there you're getting love from Singapore. That's great. Man, and I just love the fact, man, I'm so sorry. I believe the Discord is Man School 202, but let me I know Carl's fucking with me because I shit with my technical stuff, but you know what? When I go to England, I promise what I will do is I will work on the Discord and log in and see what I can do and how we can get that popping too. But I mean, what it is we want to do is we want to cultivate a life that we can feel comfortable about. A life that we love, that we can be proud of, a life that brings us joy. And that doesn't mean it's always going to be perfect. It just means that we are actively moving in a direction that we want to, so that we can have some degree of satisfaction. Because no matter how things are great, everything will change at some point in time. It would all change. Whatever's good will have these bumps and rubs in the road or whatever, and whatever's bad will end up flip around and be good again. And so when we, death is eternal, and if you take that path, you don't ever give yourself a chance to turn it around. Phone lines are up, 917-703-6857. Call in if you got some questions. Also, what I was saying was, when I first started doing consultations, right? When I first started doing consultations, and I was doing, not a lot of them, not like I am now. Don't forget, DanteNero.com, click on consult. The phone line is up. Let me just put that up real quick. Y'all know what it is. One-on-one consultations, DanteNero.com. Click on consult and you can get me. Phone number scrolling on the bottom and it's scrolling on the top, so y'all can just the new number. But so call in if y'all got something. But I remember this was a crazy thing. I was doing consultations for about 6 months, and I got a call from a guy who said to me, he was 28 years old, and he said to me, I'm a 28-year-old virgin. If I don't get laid, right, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to unalive myself by the time I'm 31. So he says, look, would you work with me? Now, needless to say, this puts me in a really kind of serious situation where I have to produce for this guy, because I don't want to be responsible for failing him. And I told him, like, sight unseen, I didn't see the guy, I didn't know what he looked like, I didn't know how handsome, but I knew that I did believe that all of the things that I do talk about in terms of, finding somebody who wants to be with you, I knew I could help him. And if man, and he trusted me. I guess that's the other thing, Xavier. I mean, I think he trusted me. He had talked to a bunch of other guys online. He had also talked to Rosebud, the pimp, Rosebud with the double D for the double dose of pimping. Talked to him, and he trusted me. Man, I look, put it like, now here's the thing. He was in Philly and he came down to New York to see me, just to come do a show. I didn't need to see him. I wasn't gonna meet with him and work with him in the capacity of it. Like, that wasn't something that I asked, and we were just doing consultations on the phone. But he was from Philly, and he came into New York one day. I had shows, and he came to my shows, and we hung out a little bit, and I talked to him, and then I worked with him. And I'm happy to say, we got him laid. Not only that, but I mean, in the course of about a year, he had like 3 chicks on the roster, baddies too. Now here's the funny thing. I would never expose who he is, but what up, Goose? But he was probably 4'7" or 8, maybe 4'10", and not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the judge of who's handsome or who, but I'm gonna just say he wasn't a handsome dude, right? And he had that kind of condition where, I don't know if you ever seen when somebody has the overextended chest, where the I guess not like the chest is big but it's concave, and then they have the long legs. Like he was, I think 4'7" makes you legitimately a little person. And on Lethal Flatfist, I'm going to talk about that virginal stigma too, because it's difficult, especially for men. It's difficult. It's almost like a badge of honor for women. For a dude, it's a horrible kind of distinction, and I'll tell you why. But the dude had this condition where he had where you have the little people with the extended chests and their long legs, but just like where their legs start like right under there. It's just, and then he also wasn't the best looking guy, right? But man, it really didn't matter. I worked with him, and I worked with his confidence, and I kind of showed him that now don't get me wrong, let's be clear. I'm not saying that looks don't matter. I'm not saying that being in the best of your shape doesn't matter. I'm not saying that working out and having the sex, all those things matter. I'm just saying no one of those things make you, attractive in a way where everybody wants you. I'm going to tell you, I know girls that will say if a guy is too attractive, if he's modelly attractive, women don't even want to have a relationship with them because they think it's too much trouble. So there's that. So, and I'm not saying that if you're not a handsome guy, if you're not tall, and all of those things are variable, none of those variables make you a shoo-in. It's a variable that makes things easier. And what happened was we worked on this guy's style. We worked on his confidence. He was laying the 5 bricks. And what ultimately he found is that there were women who didn't really care. They didn't care. They didn't care whether he was, let's be honest. There's women that call guys who are on death row, and they have romantic relationships by the phone on guys who are in death row, literal murders. If somebody's in prison like that, that is the definition of somebody who doesn't have a future. It's somebody that's on death row. And there are women that marry these dudes in prison. So this idea of the fact that you, because of who you are, is limited. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying every variable limits or helps people in one way or the other, but nothing is out of the realm of the fact that we can work with. So there's that. Understand that. And he laid the 5 bricks, consistently laid the 5 bricks. In fact, he was laying the 5 bricks so often and so frequently that he was, watching him work was crazy to see him, actually get to the point where he was, like this viable entity, right? He moved out, got his own place. He was a graphic designer. His business took up, and just everything. And I haven't spoke to him in years, and I mean that's kind of what happens. People get on their feet, and they just, a lot of times people don't forget it. They forget about you, or it is what it is. But hey, man, I that's not why I did. That's not why I did it. Also, send me some money. Cash App is up. Phone line is up. The new phone line. I'm hoping everything, we tested it out. Thanks to Theo and Ollie. We know that the phone line is working, so y'all can call in. I appreciate you. I would appreciate it if you do. 917-703-6857. Oh yeah. So I wanted to put so much into things outside of himself. Just want to go up there. Wanted to talk about the stigma of male virginity, because it's interesting. What happens a lot of times with guys, what'll happen with young dudes especially, will be in a situation because they have a rejected position, or they've been rejected. They get scared, and then they're living in fear, and then they don't want to step out of themselves because they don't want to expose themselves to any level of rejection. But you got to understand something. Nobody gets to define what your value is. Do I understand that it's a weird thing to if you're rejected? A lot of times we all have something to offer. Everybody in the chat, everybody that's listening, the hundreds of people that are listening, you have something to offer. Everybody has something to give. And when they're being their best version of the best version of themselves, to the same token, people get to choose what they want. Just like you as a person get to choose what your preference is and what other people do. But because somebody you don't fit, or because y'all don't connect, you cannot take the rejection as there's something wrong with you. I don't care how great you are. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what kind of car you got. There are people who are going to gravitate to you, and there's going to be people who don't gravitate. I always talk about my boy Kenny Joseph, good friend of mine, funny comic. He don't talk to nobody under 230. So I don't care how bad you are, right? If you ain't got dimples in your knees, he's not talking to you. He's a good looking dude. But if you ain't over 200 pounds, you can forget it. Kenny ain't got nothing for you. I remember Ken, I was hanging out with him one day, and he was like, God damn, look at that. He's looking at this girl, and I'm like, is she behind that chick? Oh, what is it? Something I'm not seeing? He's like, nah, the one with the big bow on her head. I was like, God damn. But you know what I'm saying? Who is anybody to judge somebody about what they like or what they don't like? If it makes you happy, it makes you happy, and you get a chance to own that. Everybody doesn't have a traditional understanding, and I'm telling you, with the guy who had called me, who was talking about he was going to commit suicide. Man, he was not a traditionally handsome dude by any means. And so understand something when I always say this how does your partner, your significant other, get to know you? You tell them. You tell them who you are. You tell them if you're worthy. You tell them what you'll put up with, what you won't put up with, what you expect, how you perceive your own value, and those things. And just because you do that doesn't always mean that everybody accepts that. But then there's millions of people, millions and millions of people. You don't have to sell yourself short, and you don't have to put up with something, but also everybody's not going to like you. Here's the problem. When you're a guy and you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of experience with women, or don't have a lot of sexual experience, and all of this comes, it really works on you. Good friend of mine is the Punisher. And if y'all know who the Punisher is, we had him on the show. He's the guy who was sleeping with Cassie, Diddy's girlfriend, for $2,000 a pop. But he had a situation where a friend of his, he has a book out called Freezer Meat by Sheree Harris. He talks about how when he was first, second or third grade, or I don't know how old he was, but he had a friend who got laid and was talking shit. And the guy, because he had never had any sexual experience before, he came too quick. And the girl who he disappointed went around the block when he wasn't around and trashed him. And it's funny because it didn't even happen to punish him, but he internalized this kind of shame and literally was in a position where it ultimately ended up where he had erectile dysfunction just from the anxiety, and thought that something was wrong with him, but he had himself checked out, and all kinds of drugs. He was taking Viagra and this and that and Cialis and all kinds of stuff. But he had anxiety, performance anxiety, and the performance anxiety literally stopped him from getting an erection because he couldn't. He felt like he didn't have no control. And went to therapy, and the therapist kind of figured out that this was something that he was harboring from when he was a child, just from seeing his best friend be embarrassed by a woman who and don't get me wrong, his ego, he was talking a lot of shit and not being authentic about where he was or where he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Because he felt like he needed to do that to prove to everybody that he was worthy. But trust me, man, Bob, thank you for the $30. Thank you for the $30 in the Cash App. I appreciate you. But because of that, he carried that. And this was a guy who was literally getting paid to sleep with women, thousands of dollars. So you know what I'm saying? I always say, like, this goes deep seated. Doesn't matter what the appearance is. People have these weaknesses, and if they don't figure them out and figure out how to cope with them, it doesn't change for them. It doesn't get better. So a lot of times, if you don't have sexual experience, and then what's happening, because women have access to men at a much higher rate, even the less attractive women, you can give up some ass. That's not hard to do. So what happens is they don't deal with that kind of rejection on the front end. But as they get older, they deal with that rejection where they're older and they haven't developed a personality, or they've been living off of their looks or something. And then when they start to get older and they're not this little spry little young thing that everybody's trying to smash, it changes. And then people go, well, yeah, you ain't as pretty as you were. And so I'm not willing to put up with what you will, because you don't have a personality. So that happens too. But it happens to young men on the beginning end. So now what happens is, because you don't have any sexual experience, you meet somebody that you want, you don't have any sexual experience. And so now you have this anxiety because you don't want to fail. And it literally creeps into your thinking to the point where you can't even perform. I can't tell you how many times I've had this situation where, because somebody likes somebody more than normal, or was in a situation where they didn't think that they were valid, or they didn't think they were viable or deserving of the person that they're with, had approach anxiety and were just worried about not performing, not being able to hold the erection, even if they were, either they didn't want to come too fast, or I don't know if I go down good enough, I don't know if I move well enough. This is a whole, and so, but once you're dealing with yourself in an honest situation, it changes, and then it also gives somebody the opportunity where there's not where you're not like the Punisher's best friend put on a facade about who he said he was, and then he failed. And so when she trashed him, I mean, part of it, I mean, maybe she was a horrible human being, but maybe she was upset because of the fact that he said he was this and he said he was that, and he wasn't. So, keep that in mind. Let me just look at the thing. All up into it. He was crawling. Are you talking about my little man? Somebody put in the chat Pete Davidson. Yeah, man, Pete Davidson was a virgin when I met him. I talked him through and taught him how to deal with things. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he still listens to the things that I said or follows those. I would probably imagine not. But that was my little shorty. That was absolutely my little shorty, Pete Davidson. If you listen to the opening intro, the full song, that's Pete talking about. Dante knows what he's talking about, So let me see. Coming quick. Thing is goofy and it causes his doer person to be smoking. It's a compliment. I don't know. I mean, it depends. He's saying if you come too quick, it means that the girl is bad. Yeah, sometimes a chick don't want to hear that. But we put, the point is that we put all of these things. We always put these levels of this level, this bar. We set the bar for ourselves, and then if we don't hit that bar, then we don't feel as if we're viable. Yeah, Carol's put in Sneeko. Yeah, Sneeko was my man. And Dira said that's not a compliment. Sneeko was my man, and Sneeko used to call me all the time anytime he had problems with girls and stuff like that. But I also kind of I can't say I honestly I just think Sneeko got caught up in. I also think that Sneeko wasn't a nice guy. I don't think him at his core that he was a kind dude. And so he always kind of gravitated to kind of abusive things and stuff like that. And I think he really had a hard time finding his framework of where he was at. And then he got caught up in he got red pilled and got caught up on this stuff. And then I just got to the point where it was just, some of the stuff that Sneeko was saying and doing was just making me, it was cringeworthy, and racially it was fucked up. And then he was, and then he was red pilled, then he was Muslim, then he was, it was just weird. And I just was like, I can't stand by and I just can't stand by when people are just unkind. That's something that bothers me. Because even when I was when I was a roughneck, I didn't treat people like trash just because I could. And I could have, and I didn't. Because I know what it was when I was young and people took advantage of me. I knew when I was young and I got bullied and stuff like that. And so it just bothered me to see other people do that. Yeah, and when you see somebody that they, like a guy like Sneeko is a guy who changes, and then you're hanging out with Kanye and he's a fucking douchebag, and it's just like people are lost, and then they think money and prestige and clicks and follows and all of this that validates you as a human being, and it's just it's just not that. I mean, don't get me wrong, those things. I mean, I wish I had more followers, I had more views and stuff, but I'm just not willing to sacrifice my personal integrity in order to get that. So I'm hoping that you guys spread the word, talk about me, send it to friends, tell people, if you're online, you're live right now, send this to somebody. Send it to somebody so they can find out. And call in. Anybody got any problems, call in 917-703-6857. Because what happens all the time is I put the number up, right? And then nobody calls. And then the half hour when I'm trying to get off, everybody starts calling in like crazy. So if y'all got something, Tracy Morgan to Pete Davidson, Sneeko, the list, Chris DiStefano, the list goes on and on and on. But you don't help people because you're looking for something, in return. You do it because it's the nature. And I honestly couldn't. Okay. Let me see. I asked a question. Let me put this up. I asked a question earlier about maintaining your sense of play after the ups and downs of life that make you harden seriously. So here's what I would say to that. When you when things happen up and down, there's always conflicts and stuff. Big shout to Indira for coming on the live. I know you're going through some stuff, but what I'm also want to say is, dog, if you let these things take away your joy or the opportunities to have joy, you're the only person that loses. You're the person that loses because it's not cars, money, power. None of those things are the commodity. The commodity is time. The reason why the commodity is time, because without time, you can't do anything else. If you have no time, once you're gone, that's it. You don't have time to fix it. You don't have time to fix it, and so you have to say you have to take the time that you have to access and to give yourself joy and to make people joyful and stuff. And don't get me wrong, people are going to be people who can't receive the gifts that you have or receive the love that you got, but that's on them. When you're living the way that you live, I can't tell you, when you get up and you brush your teeth in the morning, everything changes. Everything is different. And what we have is the time, from the time that we're born till the time that our life is in, and we don't know what that is. And so you got to get up every day and live it, because you are exchanging 24 hours of your life that brings you closer to death, whatever that date is. Maybe it's 100 years, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 50 years, whatever it is. But understand, every hour that clicks off that top, that clock is bringing you closer to the end. So what I'm saying is, the ups and downs is just part of it. It's also the things that make you consider how important time is, and it gives you a reference. So if you didn't have situations that were fucked up, you wouldn't know when it's good. We all need a reference point. And I'm not saying that you have to have tragedy in order to know that, but trust me, life at times is going to be tragic. Let me look. I'm gonna. Indira saying, Indira said her son had money and he had cancer, so he couldn't fix the cancer. You're talking about Steve Jobs said it best. My bad. He said that he had money, but he couldn't fix the cancer. That says it all. And so you have the time that you get, make the best of it. Don't play, because it won't be here. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Who am I talking to?
Hey, it's Kevin.
What up, Kev? How can I help you, bro?
What's up, man? Well, one, get the advice from the last show, making me realize that women liking you, liking women because they like you, that makes a lot of sense. But
You mean when you're dealing with they like you because they like you? That's what you're saying?
oh no, you made it clear that women because of us. So okay, so for example, when I about like to keep a relationship pressured and keep it interesting, well, it's interesting because, or sorry, you're interested in her because she likes you.
Wait, say that again. Say that the last part again.
Her interest in women is because of us, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the interest in women. Wait, one more time. I couldn't really hear it.
It's okay. So our interest in women has with their interest in
Has to bear interest in what?
in us.
Oh yeah,
U.S.
yeah. Well, women like women who like us. Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So I might date.
Yeah, we like. What do you like most about a woman? Is her taste in men. You know, we like her because she likes us. You know, that starts. I mean, because if you meet somebody and you're attracted to them or something, but they don't like you. But when you get a woman and she's laughing at your jokes and she finds you interesting and finds you intriguing, we like them more.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
So it's kind of a symbiotic situation. The problem is sometimes that we can overlook the fact that maybe the person that likes us might not even be what we want in the first place. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to guys who will, oh man, I'm having problems with my girl and then we're breaking up and and I love her, but and then what I do is, what's an interesting thing is I'll ask them, well, what do you love about her? Oh man, like we've been through a lot of then they'll give me all of these different answers of why they love her. And what I realize is, here's the thing: if you a New England fan, or if you are a Lakers fan, all right, and I ask you why you like the Lakers, it's interesting how men can be so clear about what it is they like about the Lakers. Man, they're the best in defense. I love this player. I love that player. You know what I'm saying? You can give specifics, and those specifics are so clear. But then when somebody says, when I ask you, why do you love your girl, and you can't even articulate it, it's probably that you can't articulate it because you don't. And it's not that you're not attached to them. It's not that you don't find your situation with them habitual. It's the fact that you've gotten so accustomed to the situation that you don't know what it is to not be in that situation. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And
then so when you can't articulate it, or here's the other thing, a lot of times you can articulate what you fell in love with in the first place, and then in the last 6 months to a year or 2 years, it hasn't been that. Like those things have changed. And understand something, people change, people outgrow each other. The problem is when we don't have options and we can't walk away from some situation that's not the best for us, or if somebody doesn't think that you're important enough to make adjustments for, and to adjust and to communicate, then the relationship will ultimately go in the toilet. It's just what it is. We work at what we work at. You know what I mean? And nothing worth anything is easy. It's funny. I just had all my boys, you know, guys who I've known for 30 years, guys who I were running around stripping with and had orgies with and threesomes and all kinds of stuff. You know, these are all grown men and have grandchildren and stuff like that. And we all met up and they came to my show, right? And, you know, they want to be supportive because, you know, they've known me for something, but I don't need their support because I'm nice. I'm nice with this shit. Like, I've been doing comedy for 24 years. I'm great at it. So it's nice that they want to support, but I don't need your support because I'm dope and I know I'm dope because I put the work in, you know? And and in the light of that, it's weird because it's funny how they're, you know, like afterwards, you know, unsolicited, I got texting, man, you were amazing. Like, you were really good at this. And yeah, because they're so accustomed to people disappoint, saying that I'm this, I'm that. And the thing is, I didn't even say I was this. I just got on that stage and do what I do because I love doing it, you know? So there's an interesting thing about that. It's when you put the confidence comes from the work that you put in. And when you're really putting the work in, there's no denial about what your value is. And you get to know what you should put up with and what you can't put up with, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
You know, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt. You go ahead. Talk.
With that in mind, so my question is, so with that be the case, women be like women like us. How do what when it comes to like making friends or just making in general?
Making friends?
Yeah.
You mean male friends, female friends, or what?
Both.
Well, here's the thing. This is like, it's so, I mean, I even the way you speak to me, you know, you've been listening. I can tell you've been listening. And laying the 5 bricks is kind of the thing. I think that is the key to everything. I even, now here's a situation, I even lay bricks when it comes to men, not in a romantic way, but if I see a dude, like, one of the things I wish I could do is I wish I could grow a beard. I can't grow a beard, but if I see somebody and they got a dope beard, I go, man, your beard is killing me. I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say that, and the dude will thank you and say, what's up? Yo, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But you know what I'm saying? Because but the confidence in yourself and the confidence, the fact that you're just telling people that you see them. Like, if you think about how often do we walk past people and we don't see each other, or we don't feel seen, you know? So it's an amazing thing that once you start laying the 5 bricks and you're doing it with women, you start to understand that it's not really yes, it is a woman thing, but it is really a human thing first. So when we open ourselves and we approach people with sincerity and credibility and empathy, you will be surprised at how easily it makes people to because people are afraid. They're afraid to be rejected, and having those conversations makes you accessible.
Okay.
But being accessible, like, it also, you also get to see, like I really wish that I had a better relationship. I really wish I had a better relationship with Sneako, because I think he's a powerful guy, powerful, charismatic guy, and I think that he led a lot of people astray. And I wish that I could have been a part of his, instead of Andrew Tate, but you know, he had access to those dudes. He had access to Fresh and Fit and those knuckleheads. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's interesting how people who are you know, have large followings, or just because they're the loudest voice, or for some reason things click for them, they have access to people that really do them a detriment, you know? But I also realized he just really, you know, you get to see he really wasn't a good dude. Do you know what I mean? It just there were things that he did that I just thought was just not. It's just not you can't be a good dude and do that. He used to ask me questions about, like he had a girlfriend at one time and he wanted to get into the swinging life, but his girlfriend really didn't. She wasn't really into it, and he kind of. It's just like, where's the empathy in what you're saying? You're saying hurtful and mean things, and because you have power over people, it creates arrogancy, and that arrogancy, and but you end up being a dickhead though, and you end up on the back end knowing that that's what people think about you. It's unfortunate, but it does. So just open yourself, even laying the 5 bricks when it comes to just people in general. You'll see how people will open themselves up to you, and it's funny. I was talking to a guy who I was counseling for a lot of years. He was like, "Man, people give you free shit." One of my boys would, he loved watching jazz. He loved to go see jazz, and he used to go to this jazz club, and he was just really kind and kind of open. And then one of the ladies who managed the Village Underground, he made friends with her, and so every time he came and he spoke to, just being open with her. Every time he came to went there for every time he went there for a show or something, man, she give him, if it was packed, she would put a table on the dance floor so that he could bring his date or something like that. Just because and then he appreciated the fact that she opened herself to him. Then he took her out to dinner, not even in a sexual way, just to say thank you for the fact that she looked out for him. And literally, I had a situation where I was trying to take somebody out, and he was like, "Oh, just call my girl up," and got me right in. When I got there was people that I knew anyway, but I'm saying his name was Golden simply because he was a kind dude, a kind and considerate dude,
Okay, I don't know.
So it works in fundamentally. Laying the 5 bricks works on every level, at every situation, but you have to be sincere. You have to be sincere, and when you're sincere, it's just people. And you know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure there are people in your life that are sincere, and it just hits different. Anything else?
Okay, yeah, I don't mind. No, that's it. Hope you have a good show.
Yeah, man. Thank you, bro. I'm just, I'm still trying to get these phones and everything together, but I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for calling.
Definitely. Take care.
All right. Phone lines is up, y'all. You know what it is. 917-703-6857. Let's see if we got any questions in the chat. Me and Bill. Audio keeps cutting. Yeah, his phone call was a little weird, but I don't think that's a problem. Xavier, send me your number on my Instagram, the Dante Nero. Send me the Instagram and we can talk. See if you can help me out with something. All right. Ex-best friend ran into some money, brought out the ugliness. Yeah, man. When these people ain't what up, Eric? What's going on, baby? Could get to work, boy, get that money. Yeah, phone lines up 917-703-6857. I have to pack, so I'm not gonna be on here for 90 hours. If anybody's got something they want to get off their chest, call me, because I'm shutting this down fairly quick today. I gotta pack, get ready to go to England. My son's birthday. I appreciate everybody that sent me, that remembers his birthday is on the August 15th. Everybody sent love, and I appreciate that, man. I'm heading out to London to go see my little man. I miss him to death. What's the 5 bricks? 5 bricks is going out and telling and paying 5 women compliments every day. The compliment has to be honest. It has to be honest. It has to be not just the women that you find attractive, and it has to be you're not, at least on the first phase, you're not allowed to get the number. So what you're doing is you're paying it to come. So if you say, "Oh, I love your hair, I love your shoes," you have to be honest about the compliment. It could be an older woman, younger woman, skinny, fat, whatever it is. No, Tuesday we'll be rocking. Thursday, but Wednesday I'm out. Thursday I'm out. I mean, Wednesday I'm out. I'm flying out, and I haven't figured out how to do this on the road yet. So there's that. But and maybe I'll figure something out. But just not. Thank you, man, Romeo. Rome, what up? So there's that. But so I'm flying out. But Tuesday we'll be live, and y'all can call in and do whatever. Thank you, bro. And anybody out in the UK, holla at me. Thanks, Flip. I appreciate you. We're gonna do that. The phone line's still up, 917-703, but I'm counting down, man, because I got some stuff to do. And I wanted to make sure I went live because I didn't go live last Sunday. So we wanted to do that. Indira, my girl, we love you. Understand something, we love you, and you got nothing but support from the Man School family, and you always see you in the chat, and we just love you to death. Hey, Kev, don't worry about it. It is what it is, man. You know, we deciphered it and we got through it, so it don't matter. Also, don't forget, real quick, let me put this up. Cash App is up. Send me some money, goddammit. Don't forget, please, if y'all are on here, anybody, it's funny because as I started the live, a couple of the people who listen in just found out if they hit the bell on YouTube that you get notified when I go live. So that's dope. So it worked for the first time for somebody in the chat. I forget who said that. But don't forget, y'all know what the if y'all need a consultation, you know how to get me on. Go one-on-one consultations at DanteNero.com. Here it is, one-on-one consultation. Just click on consult. And it best. Hold on one sec. Let's get this. Ahmed, what up, bro? Hold on. Let me see. He can't get me. Ahmed. Can you hear me?
Dante.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you? I'm well, and happy to your son.
Say again?
I'm saying I am well. I'm really well, and happy to your son.
Man, I'm so happy. It's good to hear your voice, man. I love when we're in that situation where you call in from the Far East. How's things going with your future
What
wife?
is your? They're still good.
Good.
To be honest,
Huh?
I've been thinking these days.
Yeah, what have you been thinking about?
Thinking these days. There isn't so difference between this one and the previous. Okay, this one is smarter, cares, and all this stuff. But the difference is that she actually cares.
Oh, your girl now.
Yeah. Like my previous girl, all she had to do is pick up her trash, and we'd still be married.
Yeah. It's interesting how these little things, you see them when they matter. You know what I'm saying? When you know what to look for, right?
Yeah.
And it's what you got to understand too. There's something I used to say. There's a saying I used to say all the time: is you don't have to eat the whole birthday cake to know that it was made with rotten eggs. All you need is a slice. You know, actually, all you need is a spoonful. And what happens overall is when we don't have opportunities, when we don't have confidence, we get these red flags and then we don't even pay them any attention. And we overlook them because go ahead.
I actually just been in the relationship's first day, but after the marriage, so no point.
Wait, repeat that again. I feel like this. we're getting a little breaking up. But talk a little slower and a little clearer. Like, are you on the speakerphone, or are you talking directly into the phone?
I'm speaking my headphones.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Give it to me again one more time.
Yeah, I was saying that I noticed them since day one, but day one after marriage is still late.
I couldn't hear that. It's like cutting out a little bit.
I was saying that I was louder. Maybe that's what
No. It's can you get off the headphones
everything?
and can you talk right into the phone? Just put the yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah. That sounds better.
All right. So I was saying I noticed the problems since day one. But after marriage, day one, still late.
Wait, you cut out again. I'm sorry, bro.
All right, then. Take care of your trip, and we'll want your back.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Ahmed. I couldn't hear you.
When is your birthday, by the way?
My son's birthday is the 15th, August 15th. So I'll be out in England with him, and then
Birthday.
Mine is May 13th.
May 13th. All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, the phones are kind of acting up a little bit. Cash App, send me some money. Real quick. Big thank you, Brian Lorenzo. Thank you for the $10 on the Cash App. You the best, man. I love y'all. I feel like we had a good run. I mean, been going. Okay, we got another call. Hold on one sec. Let's see if we can get this last one in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Don. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Doing good, man.
Good. How can I help you, bro?
So, sorry for interrupting you.
No.
So, I've been practicing the leg on the 5 bricks.
Yeah.
Every day, right?
Yeah.
Mine entails, delivery driver.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly always like into people and stuff like that. That gives me the opportunity to be able to, pay my compliments, regardless if it's a woman or a guy.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, I've been paying the compliments, but then, if I find a woman attractive, like the other day, I found this girl really attractive, and I tried the direct approach. I told her, hey, I find you very attractive. Are you free this weekend, either on Sunday? I'd love to take you out. Her response was, I'm good.
Okay.
Now, in those type of interactions, you preach a lot, like never have those interactions be transactional.
Well, here's my point. Here's my point. When I talk about things not being transactional, right? The first phase there's different phases of laying the 5 bricks. So we would have to kind of sit down and talk about where you're at and if you should. And so there's a way that there's different phases of that where it's sort of like if you play video games. Exactly, Lethal. You make it transactional when you ask her out. The point is that when you look, if she's interested, right? If she's interested and you go in like that, right? Then you're in. But if she's not interested, you don't really have a chance to kind of build the attraction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so when you go right in, and don't get me wrong, you can try that if you don't mind but it's almost like I don't know if you've heard me say this before. So many guys will, they'll be on the apps, right? And they'll be on the apps, and then they'll going out with a girl on a date without ever making a phone call, and and then they go out on a date, and then they don't know how to time travel, or you're not like, you're really like, foreplay. There's laying the 5 bricks and all these other things is foreplay to get you to a higher level of success. And when you skip these levels, what you're really doing is you're rolling the dice and you're hoping for the best. So when you pay the compliment, if the compliment is received and it's honest and it's non-transactional, what happens is the defense, because think about it. So I'm assuming that this girl was attractive. If you thought she was attractive, at the very least, no matter how we look at, we might have a difference in taste or something, I would have to assume that she's attractive to some extent, right? So she probably gets other guys hitting on her, right? So there is a defenses is up. You know what I mean? She's always, because guys are always hitting on her, and guys are always trying to put something in her. Do you know what I mean? So unless she's trying to get somebody, right? A straightforward kind of approach with that is it's fine if she likes you, but if she don't like you, you're not even giving yourself the foreplay to get you to the point where you have a conversation, and the way you get that is other things I would have to teach you, so that it's not, laying the 5 bricks is only the first step. What the laying the 5 bricks does, it gets you past the fear. It gets you to understand how to talk non-transactionally. Do you have me on in the background?
No, I do not.
Okay. You got a radio on or something? Because I hear something in the background.
No, I'm laundry room, but I could go somewhere quieter.
Okay, all right. Okay. So what I'm saying is you need to have this situation so that she's not going, oh, this guy's trying to fuck me. You understand?
Yeah.
And the point is that, yeah, you are because she's attractive, but you aren't because you don't know her. Like, there's plenty of situations. I had one of my boys, we were at the comedy club. Comic was at the comedy club, and this girl kind of she was with her dude.
Yeah.
She kind of hit on him. She was like, oh, take my number down. Da, 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 da. She dumped the guy that she was with, right? And she was talking him out. Well, she was talking to him by herself while he was at the bar and her man was in the comedy club. And then she was like, oh yeah, my mom she had me committed to a mental institution 2 weeks ago. And she was like, and then she dumped the guy, and then she left, changed her clothes, drove back to the club and met him there, and jumped out the car like she knew him. Hey, what's up? I was texting you. Why didn't, look, I get it, because she was definitely a willing body, but man, you crazy if he had left with this chick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so no matter how bad a chick is, unless you have vetted her, right? And this will happen when you don't have options and a woman is really attractive. You don't ever go, you just go, well, she's attractive. She's trying to get it. I'm going to give it to her. But when you start to understand what your value is and that what is at stake, you can end up in a really funky place by not doing the right thing, So I understand she's attractive, but you still need to vet people. And when you are paying an honest compliment and then you're having these conversations, it's a vetting process. And because of the fact that you're not sure that you want to deal with this chick simply because she's attractive, that is the thing that creates the interest. The fact that she has your full attention and she's earned nothing. She has said nothing interesting other than, you're delivering her shit, and you find that you're attracted. Man, have a conversation with her first.
Yeah.
And so what you've created a transactional situation that's not going to work out for you. Or if you're lucky, she's not out of her fucking mind, or she don't have a boyfriend, an angry boyfriend, and maybe, you know what I'm saying? There's so much that it can happen that you open yourself up to, because you're not even you want to go right from 0 to 100, which is basically saying, I don't value my time, my energy, or who I am.
Yeah, I'm confident in how I look because I'm a semi-attractive looking dude. I make good money. and I'm a very social guy.
Yeah, but what I'm
I
saying
remember
is you
being
didn't.
attractive isn't enough.
Yeah, but you didn't qualify her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if she was out of her fucking mind? You understand what I'm saying?
That is a possibility.
It's a huge possibility. Not only that, but I mean, what if you didn't like her? I mean, I get it that you might want to just smash and dash, but dog, when you get older, when as you get older and you get more mature, you realize a lot of the stuff that we do is just not worth the risk. And when you're really working towards being the best version of yourself, everybody just doesn't deserve to be with you simply because she got a fat ass. So
that's true.
So the same way that we are being vetted by women, you should vet women. And when you are vetting women, they know the difference. They know that you're not just open for business. And so when you are you ready to sell the farm because she got a fat ass, like, you know what I'm saying? What does that say about you and how you perceive yourself?
Yeah. I actually noticed something. So like and I think this has happened with a whole guys that I've also called in, is that like when I'm focused on myself, like working, because I go to the gym and making money, doing all these things, like buying new clothes, different things that I've never tried before.
You get more opportunities.
Yeah, you get more opportunities.
Right.
So girls that I don't find attractive and that I'm not really talking to transactionally, always find me attractive. And I'm like, oh, like, what's your number? Where are you from? I like to know you. And I'm like, I'm not interested, but it's a pleasure to get to know you.
Understand this. It's not just because the ones that you're attracted to are not attracted to you. It's the fact that you become unattractive because you're thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah, that makes sense.
She's attractive, so like, I want this one. Right, so now it becomes transactional, and that's what they were saying in the comments. Now because you're attracted to him, because you like, I've decided this one is the one, right? Then big shout to Brandon Top Notch. Thank you for the $4.99 in super chat from Notting Hill Carnival. Thank you, my brother, my Antiguan brother. But you know, that's what everybody's saying. The fact that this is one that you've decided. That this is the one, when she's done nothing to earn that.
Yeah. So, a quick question: how do I get to that point where, if I do find a woman attractive and I'm interested in her, besides vetting her, how can I approach it in a way that doesn't come off as like thirsty?
First of all, you gotta, look. There's things that I would have, like, we would, I mean, I don't want to put it like this, but this is a process that takes me, that I would have to coach you. So you'd have to make a consultation, a one-on-one, and we do it. And we would have a conversation about what specifically is happening. What are the dynamics? I can't really read that unless I'm asking you questions about how you're doing it, what's behind it. Because what happens is the attraction, it's like, you ever heard of the word je ne sais quoi? It's that unseen thing, but you can't fake it. You have to get it. So women are super intuitive about reading men, because like I've said before, the empathy tells us that women have to be careful about who they deal with, because it could mean their life if they pick the wrong guy. And so they're really good at it. They're better than we ever could be, because our life is not at stake when we see, when we're dealing with people and deciding to go out and get in somebody's car, come to somebody's apartment. It's a way different thing. But the point is, you can't fake not being insecure. You got to actually be not insecure. You can't fake not being transactional. It has to really be, and there's a way to get that. And once you go through the process, the different phases of laying the 5 bricks is, but you have to, and a lot of the second and third layers of it, I don't talk about it, because then people will jump the gun. They'll move too quick, which is exactly what you're doing, and then they won't get they don't get the results, and then I look like I'm teaching you some shit that don't work. Sure, if you lay the 5 bricks and you end up not being as tongue-tied, you felt less comfortable, you're more comfortable with yourself, you're it's easier to talk to people, but there are levels to that where you get to the point where you know what to say that triggers attraction, the things that the fact that it's not transactional, the fact that you're not speaking to her in a way that feels transactional, even the tone of your voice, your body posture, your body language, the speed in which you speak. It's like when you're talking to these women that you're not attracted to, trust me, boy, you're different. You're a different person because you don't want something.
That's true.
And what you have to do is you have to learn to not just decide because this woman is attractive and I'm sexually attracted to her, that's all that matters. Because honestly, it's not all that matters. It is all that matters up front for the attraction. But imagine this woman would have said yes, right? Came in your house. She was like, why don't you slip into something? Go take a shower. I'll be here when you get back or whatever. And then while you're gone, she goes through your stuff or goes through your wallet or whatever, and gets your Social Security and takes your, you know what I'm saying? Any number of things could happen. So, but you've decided in your head, hey, she's attractive, so I'm all in. You get what I'm saying? So it is transactional, and she feels that it's transactional. That's why she's dismissive. See, if you didn't ask for nothing, there's a funny video online. There's this guy, he's real buff, and he he's working out this beautiful chickens in the gym. He walks up to her and says, "Excuse me," and she goes, "I got a man," and the guy goes, "So do I. You have a tampon string."
I've seen it.
She goes, you have a tampon string sticking out of your pants. Like, so do I have a man too, right? And it's just like this assumption that everybody's trying to get you because they're not wrong. If you're an attractive girl, every guy is trying to get you.
Yeah.
And they're saying,
funny thing that you say that.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. It's funny thing that you say that. It's I was at Target. I just bought a really new outfit. I got my hair cut, I got these new shades, and I'm just chilling, rolling. Those little grandma cart stuff that is electric you can roll around the supermarket with? I didn't feel like walking. I was like, let me just roll around the Target shit. And this really attractive girl, I think she works for like 18. She stopped me and we were just talking, and she's just smiling, giggling, and I'm just like, is this girl flirting with me?
Yeah.
Or is she trying to sell me just AT&T coverage?
Yeah.
I'm trying to play it off like, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you. I kind of got to go. But then my girl ends up coming, and she's like, oh, at first she was like, okay, this girl's trying to sell you AT&T, but then she got mad. I think she got pissed or something and walked off.
Yeah, well, she got mad because you weren't responding. But if she got mad
to talk to her.
And if you,
No, I turned around to talk to her. I was like, oh, did you find what you need? And if anything, I'll go with you.
And then what happened? What did she do after that?
No, she's just like, having fun, but I'm on my way. I'm going to go get it. Finish doing what you're going to do, and we'll meet up later.
Okay. But my point, you get my point. My point is they know when you're thirsty. And if you say, hey, how you doing? You go, listen, I'm really funny. I want to take you out. That's fine if she feels the same way. If she doesn't, you have already lost. And that's where the consultations come in, where I can actually talk to you about what the approaches is when you're moving too quick, when you've laid the foundation. I can also figure out where your insecurities lie so we can work on so that you can be actively aware of it so that you don't make those mistakes. A lot of times you want to have a good product to sell, but what's more important is that you know how to sell the product. A lot of times people buy things from the salesman because of who the salesman is, not because of what the product is. Yeah, sure, it is the product too, but you understand what I'm saying? If you ain't selling it right, you ain't going to sell. People don't buy anything from everybody, And there's you ever hear a guy say, "Oh, that guy's a real great salesman. He can sell ice water in the Antarctica to Eskimos." You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
it is, but there are things, and it's just something that, because when we talk about authenticity, it's just something you can't fake. And so the first step absolutely is laying the 5 bricks, but there's steps after that. And the only way it's like teaching somebody how to sing and them taking singing lessons online. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to be physically, somebody has to be in the room with you physically, see what your posture is. Sometimes they'll put their hand on your diaphragm to make sure your diaphragm. I mean, it's not that I don't have to have my hands on you, but my point is there are these nuanced things that make an amazing difference, you know?
Yeah. I have one final question, and then
Sure.
because I know you have the callers and stuff like that. So I'm in a situation where I'm currently going through a divorce, but it hasn't occurred yet. I remember me, Wilbur Sepulveda. I'm the dude that used to work at Amazon.
Yeah.
Has 2 daughters.
Familiar.
I spoke with my wife and I told her, listen, let's finalize the divorce, and tell me what you need. I want you to feel comfortable. Let's get this over with. If you need me to pay for everything, I got it.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I'm totally on board, 110%, without a shadow of a doubt. All I need to do is take the test for the citizenship.
Yeah.
And once she passes that, she's good to go. All right, solid. If you need help studying for the test, I got you. Or if you want to pay for a class or do with somebody else, that's sort of fine. Just let me know what you need.
Right.
And to my eyes, I see no motivation or any type of effort to actually pursue that, right? So in a tricky predicament where I want to get divorced, so like I don't have the time of being a married man,
right,
and also
now
start building my roster.
is she trying to? If she's trying to get back with you? No. So then, if you're offering to help, just because you're being cordial and you're kind, that doesn't mean people get to abuse that. So you put up a deadline. You say, listen, I'm going to help you with this, but I don't want to be in this marriage for the rest of my life. I want to move on with my life. And so if you're not going to do this, then I'm going to move on.
What do you recommend to do? Should I get a lawyer and start filing up paperwork?
Absolutely. I mean, maybe you can have a conversation with her and just let her know that, because if she's yesing you to death and she's saying she's going to do this, that's one thing. But what is, there's something that I talk about all the time is RFF, is reasonable, fair, and firm. Is it reasonable for you to be with her and y'all don't have any animosity and you want things to be, you're not just being a dickhead, you know what I mean? Is it fair for you to want to be out of a marriage that she doesn't want to? And is it fair for you not to want to linger on with this and move on with you? Absolutely. Is it firm that you plan? What are you ultimately like? When do you want this thing to be wrapped up? And somebody doesn't get to, if she's not motivated to do it, then what you do is you remove the help. You say, look, if you're not going to do this, then I'm going to move on. And then you get a lawyer and you move forward anyway.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your help, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. No problem. Appreciate you calling in.
I haven't been able to call for a personal consultation because money's kind of tight, but I know I need it.
Yeah, I mean, because there's nuance to this that I just, I'd have to dig into your head and see what you're doing and what you're doing wrong. Okay?
Got it, brother. Thank you so much, man.
All right, brother. And that's DanteNero.com. Click on consult if y'all need a consultation. You know what to do. Real quick, let me go over the the comments and the questions, and then we'll close it out. If I get a call, I'll take it. But what if what I did was hurt her feelings, like I did an action that she did not like to hurt her feelings? Mally, I'm not sure of the prerequisite. Okay. Do you think that an apology really would change anything? Hold on. You mean if I felt look, it does. You don't apologize because you want to change things. You apologize because you feel that you sincerely did something that you thought was inappropriate or wrong. That just because you apologize doesn't mean people have to accept your apology. But let me just be clear two things that you will always have to do as a human being is give forgiveness and ask for forgiveness. And so anybody who doesn't really understand that they're imperfect, and if somebody is sincerely apologetic about it and it wasn't intentional, you absolutely, even if it was intentional, people, but you don't have to beat yourself up because you did something wrong. You can be sincere about it and not let somebody put your nuts in a ringer, and that's not fair either, especially when I'm quite sure that she's not perfect either. Okay, so that's let me make sure I got all of it from Mally. Yeah. And if don't give an apology because she demands it. If you don't think you're wrong, then you're not wrong. Then but apologizing. What about you did act that way? I wanted you to say sorry. If you're not sorry, you don't say sorry. Understand righteously. The bottom line, when you do that, what you're doing is you're losing credibility. When you apologize and you don't think you did anything wrong, what you're doing is you're being unrighteous. In the meantime, I had other girls that dealt with me, but just on some guy sex stuff. Now, the question is, Mally, were you in a relationship with her? Was there a prerequisite with the fact that she expected fidelity? That is the key point. If she expected fidelity, but y'all never had that conversation, you can have that conversation. But if that's not what you want to do, because she's hurt by the fact that you are interested in other women or interested and not ready to settle down, nobody gets to do that. They don't get to dictate what her expectations doesn't dictate what your happiness is. So, and if you said, okay, so I'm looking at it now, says you were clear that you're not interested in a relationship, then you don't apologize for it. Because apologizing for it, right, says that you're sorry that you don't want a relationship. And that's misleading. You can say, look, you can say, listen, you can say, I didn't want to hurt you, but I made myself clear in the beginning that I didn't want a relationship. And if this is going to be a problem, then it's best that we don't rock no more. And a lot of times you're saying she latched on you immediately, and I let her because it wasn't really bothering me. But the point is, now it's bothering you. There's no way in a situation that you're not clear about what your intentions are, you know what's going on, and you don't make it clear, that it doesn't end up being your problem. You see? And that's my point. This is why the righteousness is always important, because it always comes out and bites you in the ass. Now, if you made it clear, and she says, and she didn't believe you, or now what happens is she's holding you hostage, and she's making you be a boyfriend when you don't want to be a boyfriend, when you already made it clear that it's a boyfriend. So you have to go, hey, listen, we talked about this in the first place, and if this is not what, if you're looking for something else, you need to go find it, because if you expecting this from me, you're going to be disappointed. That and you don't change that, you don't have to be a dickhead, but you do have to be clear. And if she finds it offensive that you're being honest, and she wants you to be, because there's no situation where this turns out good for you. She will, once you budge and you give concessions, you will always give concessions. Because that's what you're teaching her. That's the fact that you're teaching her that this is okay, and that she can bully you into a relationship, and you'll end up fucking around. You'll end up married because of it. So hurting her feelings is not the pre-way. You don't want that to happen, but you've already made it clear. And the fact that she sees it in a particular way that she wants to see it, and she's ignoring what's coming out of your mouth, at what point in time, you got to understand that that's selfish in itself. The fact that she's going, I don't give a shit about what you want. I want you to do what I want you to do. How is that somebody you want to have a relationship with? She's already making it clear, I don't give a fuck about what you think. I want you. I like you. You're good for me. Whatever you think makes you happy, change. That's what she's saying. So no, you don't do that. You make it clear about what your intentions are, and then you don't. And if somebody starts clinging and this and that, you go, hey, yo, look, you got to go. Because you're better off. Somebody will respect you, and then they'll respect you, and they'll respect your boundaries, because the minute you start bending that, you're done. Wolf Slayer says, do you think it's never a good idea to get back with a guest? There's never a bad idea. The point is, why did you get rid of your ex? What are the circumstances? If the circumstances are the same with your ex as it was before, and nothing has changed with you and nothing has changed with her, if you haven't matured or she hasn't matured or whatever the situation is, then don't get back with your ex, because it's going to be the same. The outcome is going to be the same. You need to see drastic changes in you, her, what the expectations are, and you got to evaluate that in a real way. There might be a situation where, you might look at this person differently, or maybe you weren't able to see it. But that's a big change when you see somebody in a perspective that you haven't seen them before. Let me round these down. I had lost, let me see this real quick. I had lost my job at the time. I was low-key struggling, and she started getting kind of disrespectful over time. You cut her off. Look, if somebody, here's the situation. Nobody's on top all the time. Nobody wins all the time. So understand something. If if somebody expects you to be on top all the time and perfect, it's just not sustainable. So understand that. As a graceful thing to do is true. Let's see this one. Dante's IT department says it's not that you want to acknowledge it as a graceful thing to do, then sure. But if you don't care, then you don't care. Exactly. You got to be true to what you actually think. Understand something, that this chick is trying to bully you. At a certain point, I felt my vetting was too critical. And if you think that your vetting is too critical and you're being too hard on people, you probably are. I mean, nobody knows you better than you know. So if you're being so critical and not giving space for growth and stuff like that, the question, I always say, it's really easy. All you got to do is turn it around and look at yourself. Would you be okay with if somebody treated you that way? And if you're not okay with it, then you don't treat somebody. It makes it really simple. Let me see. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Dante's IT department. And if you're not giving enough, I'm not apologizing for something. I'm sorry that you hurt. I'm sorry that you're hurt by this, but I made it clear about what my intentions were. Not an ex situation is a long time. Never committed, but I did like her. Never told her we were exclusive. Yeah, then you don't owe somebody that if that's not what you and if it's not what you want. How unfair is it for you to mislead somebody that it is something that it's not, and then they go on thinking whatever the heck they're thinking or whatever. Be clear and be firm, reasonable, firm, and fair. It's the best way. It's the best checklist to go by. I admitted that I was wrong weeks ago, but clearly it went on, and it meant nothing. So then because you're apologizing, then also she's like, oh, you're a piece of shit, and this makes her not even then she doesn't have to take a reasonable look at herself about how she's being unreasonable. So yeah, and an apology should mean something, because apology should mean is change. Like, if you're not planning on changing, don't be apologizing, because you're just gonna go back and what does that do for your particular credibility? Anyway, yeah, I think we're gonna shut this down. I appreciate y'all, man. The Cash App is still working, so send me some money. Y'all see it up. At Dante Nero. PayPal is Modest Guru. Let's see. We're gonna shut this down. I appreciate y'all, man, so much. Indira, love and happiness and good vibes to you, and you know the fans and the everybody in the chat got love for you. Big shouts to everybody that called in today, everybody that was in the chat. I love y'all, man. We will be live on Tuesday. I think, because I might have to, you know what? We might not, because I gotta pack and I gotta leave that early in the morning. But I will put up a thing on the on the YouTube, a message to see if we're gonna do it. Anyway, GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasted, y'all. Don't forget the Patreon, patreon.com/manschool202. Don't forget the one-on-one consultations. DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Also, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so y'all can get me. Peace. We out of here, y'all.